Buds does not care if you did not prepare. Welcome back, folks. Jake Zweig, United States Naval Academy, Navy SEAL, Michigan MBA, Division I athlete, builders of champions for life, man. So listen up. Here we go. Version 8, the new PST preparation guide for Navy SEAL training. But let's address some issues that are floating around out there in the Ethernet, mainly on Reddit and some subpages. People are banging on this program because it's free. It's too hard. Lot of trash being talked. Okay, let me tell y'all something. This is the exact same Naval Academy program that for the last 30 years has produced a 98% graduation rate from the hardest military training in the world. This is the blueprint of that very same document from 1997 when I showed up to Buds and was out of shape, and Ryan Angled punched me in the face and said, hey, take this, start running at night. And we're going to go through the whole thing in this video, give you guys an in-depth understanding of the PDF, why everything is in here, why it is where it is, and then that way it'll help you train better. But I want everybody to understand something. There's a bunch of people out there making money on preparation for Navy SEALs, Army Rangers, Green Berets, Tier 1 training guide, okay? That's great. They're making money, but they're also selling a program that's only going to get you about 50% there. I know there's been a lot of beef floating around the internet. Listen, this program got you averaging probably 42 miles a week. Do we get up to 55 miles a week? Yes, we do. Is that anything like the 75 miles a week you're going to be running at Buds? No, it's not. Okay, I don't agree with training all the way up to the 45 or 75 miles a week because it's really only for the first couple of weeks. But you get this running in and it prepares you. 25% of the injuries at training are overuse injuries. Hip flexors, stress fractures, shoulders, elbows, like guys just not having the volume before they get there. So let that sink in a little bit. All these guys out here selling programs that are sub, 40 miles a week, 30 miles a week, 20 miles a week. Guys, all they're doing is selling you so that you'll buy their program. They want you to feel like you have a chance. But here's what's going to happen when you show up in training. You're going to get your head lopped off, and you're going to be calling me, asking me for this program, and you're going to be like, damn, I wasn't even close to doing enough. All right, let's get started. Enough of the soliloquies. Here we go. Version 8. I'm going to tell all the old timers the only thing that's really changed. We added a bunch of rucking into the beginner run program, but this is also the first video we've made on the PDF, so we're just going to run through the whole thing, start to finish. And I'll talk through it all. It'll probably be about 20-minute, 30-minute video, but it's going to be a banger, folks. Get ready. Let's see if you got enough grit in your backpack to do this every day, to become a savage so that you show up to training on the first day and you're there on the last day and you get your SEAL pin. Let's get into it. All right, we talked about all that good stuff. Okay, so let's go over the particulars. Listen, this is to get you ready for the PST. It is not to get you ready to go to Buds. Now, there is a masterclass to get you ready for Buds. There is a bunch of stuff you need to have done before you show up to SEAL training. Couple tidbits. You need to be able to hold your breath. Okay? You need a damn scuba qualification. Okay? Since we put the scuba qualification in, we haven't lost a single dude in pool comp. Not one. Imagine that. 50% fail evolution, and we haven't lost anybody in pool comp. So, listen, we got Patreon up here. Masterclass is still being hosted over on School's Classroom. Go check that out. Support the mission. Get some merch from Triple Nickel. My dude Ruben over there holding it down. And then on Wednesday nights, guys, if you got questions, jump into Discord. The Discord always still has a Navy SEAL room, has a PJ room. It has all the rooms for you to be really successful in selection. Okay? Watch this before you start, obviously, as this video you're watching right now. The mission. We're not training to reach Buds. We're not training to get there. We're training to absolutely shit stomp training. Okay? If you show up in great condition, world-class aerobic condition, I will quote a young man that graduated about a year ago. Man, Jake, I was disappointed. I thought it was going to be harder. I said, my God. I said, you were training to the max. He goes, I know. He said, but I still would have thought it would have been harder. That's the reaction you want. That's what you want. That's what we're trying to get to, okay? We're not trying to get to the maybe category or I'm going there in shape and I might have a chance. Nah, we don't play those games. This program is designed to turn you into a machine, all right? Prepare you for the physical and medical crucibles that's buds. So one of the big principles that we train on, man, we don't train in a group, man. We don't go to no dive motivator training. We don't work out with nobody else. Because let me tell you something, Tuesday of hell week in the middle of the night, there ain't going to be nobody there to stop you from quitting. So you got to be used to doing this on your own, motivated on your own, internal motivation to get where you want to go. Baseline requirements. Before you start this program, you need to be running at least 25 miles a week for a number of months. Let's just say 3 or 4 months before you start this program. This program is not beginner friendly. 4 workouts a day. If you're lifting because you got some problems, it's going to be 5. It's a lot. It is a lot. Okay. The other thing that comes up a lot is I have a job. Let me tell you something. Buds does not care if you did not prepare. So if you have a job, I recommend you quit. I don't care if you live in a tent and train. Okay. That's what you guys got to understand. There is no substitution for training. Mash everything together. It's too much work to be done at one time. In a prime world, it should take you about 4 months to get ready to go to buds. That means to me that you had a good base starting and you need a little bit of tuning up and you're ready to go. You hear me say it all the time. If you're training for buds for years, you're not going to make it, man. You don't have the prerequisites to train that hard. Listen, we're not trying to make a world-class athlete. We're trying to make a 7th grade, 8th grade runner and swimmer. That's what we're trying to do. If you're not there yet, you got the beginner run program in the bottom. We'll go through that step by step. You can start swimming when you get to 25 miles a week on the beginner run program. So that's one of the things that I'm always asked, right? Like, when can I start swimming? All right. I'm telling you, man, you need to get 25 miles a week and hold that before you start swimming, because swimming is going to kill a lot of people, man. I'm just telling you, that swimming stuff in the beginning is rough. It's hard, but you got to get there. All right. Now, we talked about this PDF is just to get you through the PST. Once you complete the PST, I recommend everybody click over, get on the Masterclass. All right? Get on the Masterclass because there's 160 videos in there. The Masterclass was made based on every conversation that I had with a young man that went through SEAL training 6 years ago. Okay? That's how we made it. All right? We're going to work up to 45 miles a week. It's 8-week cycle. All right? Listen. If you do more than 2 of these cycles on the PDF and your run and swim times aren't at 9 minutes, something's wrong, okay? If you don't see slow, steady, gradual improvement week to week to week, something's wrong. Reach out to me. And my email's all in this thing. Send me an email. Guys, if you don't have this PDF, just send me an email. Make sure you put something in the subject and ask for the Navy SEAL PDF. The bot will send it back. Every 8 weeks, we're going to take a rest week. It could be 1 or 2 weeks, depending on how you're feeling. You're going to run 1 time a day, and then you're going to swim. All right? The easy swim is not swim whatever you want. It's 10 by 100s. Just add like 10 seconds, 15 seconds to your interval time. It'll be easy. But you're going to use that week, man. Just rest, recover, recharge your brain, and then go back at it. Logbook requirements. So listen, I know a lot of you guys are coming out. You may not have been a prime-time athlete, but you got to understand that what you put in your body is what produces the results. A combination of your ability to push yourself up into your 190 heartbeat a minute phase of training, and then what you put in your body. So when you call me and you say, hey, I'm not getting any faster, the first thing I'm going to ask you is, are you doing everything on the PDF? Well, no, I'm only running once a week. Okay, well, then I can't help you. The second thing I'm going to ask for is your logbook. All right? Because it's really easy. If you have a great day of training, go back and look at what you ate the day before, and now you can re-eat it, and you'll start seeing better wins, better runs, better swims, okay? Meals, what and when. Every workout, time and distance. So if I go on a time tree, which we'll talk about a little bit later, I want to write down my time tree distance. If I go on a 5-mile run, I want to write down, if I got a good Garmin watch, I want to write down my heart rate. I want to write down my time, right? We're not running 5-mile runs for time, but I should see my 5-mile times, zone 2 run times start to come down the better shape I get in. Lap times. I want to know your first lap, your last lap, and the interval time. 400-meter times, time tree distances, and ruck paces. We're not racing during these, but we want to know the times, okay? When you have a great workout, go back and look at what you ate the 24 hours prior. Your time should gradually go down. You should never have a run 2 days from now that's slower than the run you're in now. That means you didn't eat well, you didn't recover well, you're not sleeping. The magic nutrition. Eat a pound of regular pasta, 1 pound box. Eat at least 2 cups after every workout. So what I tell everybody, I want to eat that pasta across the day, and then the last meal before I go to bed is a cleanup. Whatever I got left, that's what I eat. Put the link in the video right there, and you guys will see the video, and you can watch the nutrition video on why we eat a pound of pasta. Long chain carbohydrates. I'm going to tell you right now, my body recovers on beef far better it does chicken. Fish ain't going to do nothing for you. Eat it every day. All right, we're going to be burning a lot of calories. You must figure out what gives you training energy. You got to figure it out. Google it. If what ain't working up there, if it ain't working for you, jump in Discord, ask the question, but you got to get on your nutrition every day. Every day you must do these. 30 minutes of abs. I don't care if you do 30 minutes of abs from damn Jane Fonda. I don't care. Got to do 30 minutes of abs. I'm adding 15 minutes of neck bridges. We got some guys out there complaining their necks hurt carrying a 30-pound boat on their head. So I'm going to add 15 minutes of neck bridges. That's one of the additions. All right. Hold your breath throughout the day while walking around. Please, never, not even please, don't ever hold your breath in the pool. Read this article right here. That's a link to an article on what happened to Navy SEALs when they were holding their breath in a swimming pool. Get those done every day. Supplements. All right. Why do we have supplements? We're going to be putting a lot of stress on our skeletal system, bones mainly. The other thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be sucking a lot of sodium out of our body with sweat. Take these in the morning, 1 multivitamin, 1 calcium, and 2 glucosamine with chondroitin. That's the normal, everyday standard. Take them every day in the morning before you get started. If you'd like to add a magnesium pill, that's fine. And if you'd like to salt your water, if you're dealing with some cramps, you can salt your water a little bit. Just a little table salt in your water will help you overcome that massively. Click here for the Shin Splint prevention playlist. Shin Splints used to be mysticism, but now my man Jeff Nichols has set us on a path to greatness. All right, let's tackle the first big daddy of them all, swimming. You have to swim 5 days in a row to get faster. Listen, there ain't a whole lot of manipulating this program. There's a whole lot of parts fit in this program, where they're fit in, so that you can win long-term and get better, okay? But you can't call me and say I'm swimming 3 times a week and I don't know why I'm getting faster. You're not getting faster because you're not swimming 5 days in a row. All right, let's start. So we're going to do flip turns on every turn. Helps with 2 things. It helps us not stopping at the wall, and then the other thing is it helps us hold our breath in the middle of stressful evolutions. We're also going to learn how to dolphin kick off the wall because dolphin kicking is the fastest way to travel in the water. It's also the hardest. So you got to learn to dolphin kick. Every AM swim. We are always going to start the morning swim with 10 by 100 freestyle intervals with a 500 cool down. A lot of times 10 by 100s is going to be too much. Okay? So you're more than welcome to start with 50s. If 10 by 50s is too much, I'm probably going to advise you, probably don't need to look at the Navy SEALs, go over there and get the Army PDF and go that way. But if it's too much, you can always start with 10 by 25s, which is 1 length of the pool. Yards or meters, depends on your pool, we don't really care. 10 by 100s. How to set your interval time. All right? You're going to swim. So let's say you swim 100, you can't swim 100. So you go to 50s. You're going to swim a 50. Let's say your first lap on a 50 is 48 seconds. You're going to add 30 seconds to that. That is 118. All right? We're always going to work on the 5s. So that means if it's a 118, we're going to 120. 120 is my interval time. I am now going to swim for the next 4 days of the week, 10 by 120. That means when I leave and come back, my watch is going to go off every minute and 20 seconds. As I get more tired, I'm going to get less rest. But I want you to understand the way to get fast swimming is giving 100% on every lap. And at the beginning, you're going to die by the end. Don't worry about that. We're not pacing ourselves through these intervals. We are swimming as hard as we can. And what you'll find after about 2 or 3 weeks, pretty soon you're able to swim every lap hard, and you'll start to see your swim times come way down. All right. Now, every week we subtract 5 seconds from that interval. So next week will be at 115. The following week will be at 110. You don't swim a lap at the beginning of every week and add 30 seconds to it. I know I've gotten a lot of calls about that. That's not how interval training works. You set the first interval on your first lap on the first week, and then you subtract 5 seconds off of that lap time every lap, decreasing your intervals until you get down to roughly 45-second intervals, and you get down close to 30 seconds a lap swim time, and then you can move up to 10 by 100. The idea is to swim fast, and then we'll work on conditioning. All right, now let's get going. Better understanding of swim training. We got that. We covered that. All right, when you get down to 2-minute intervals. So when you're at 10 by 100s and you get down to 2-minute intervals, go start swimming with the master swim class at least twice a week. What you're going to find is they're going to blow you out of the water, but they're also going to be able to coach you on freestyle. All right? Why do we swim freestyle and not combat side stroke? Combat side stroke is impossible to get faster because it's an ergonomical way to swim, and it's really hard to get your heart rate up, elevated swimming combat side stroke, because there's so much kick, glide, and recovery time. So we only swim freestyle. That's what we swim, okay? And what you're going to find is you could do no training on CSS and only swim freestyle and still blow combat side stroke out of the water, okay? All right. So the goal is to swim a 110 sub 100 meter freestyle. That's the goal. That's what we're going to do. Okay? A lot of guys have gotten down there pretty easy. With the new PST 1,000 meter swim in fins, we're going to be changing the evening swim. We're going to go 3 times 100 CSS, 3 times 100 breaststroke. This is the first week you start swimming. We're going to do 100 with fins on. I got another page. We're going to talk about the fin selection and that stuff. We're going to add 100 to strokes every week until you get to 500 CSS and 1,000 breast. With fin CSS, we're going to start at 100 meters. We're at 100 meters until you get to 1,500 meters. So we're going to be swimming 500 CSS without fins, and then we're going to swim 1,000 breaststroke without fins. Then we're going to swim with fins on. I don't care what order you do it in. I don't care if you swim with fins first. You know, we may add a little bit of intervals to fin training, but there's a whole lot of legs in this program, so we're just going to get used to swimming 1,500 with fins on. Okay, fins. So I recommend everybody go out and get Scuba Pro Jet fins. Those are the fins they're using in training right now. There's 4 sizes. A lot of people don't know this. There's medium, large, extra large, and extra, extra large. At Buds, in the teams, they issued extra larges. I'm telling you, man, it's so much surface area. It killed me to move that much water. So I went and traded in my fins at ADS, and I managed to get my hands on a pair of mediums. It was easy. You guys should get them off of eBay or Facebook. They're not that expensive, $50 a pair. You try to buy them brand new, it's going to cost you $210, whatever. Don't buy brand new ones. The rubber never goes bad. You just replace the back straps and you'll be good. This is an example of the sizes. This is a medium. This is large. This is extra large. I'm telling you, I swam in these fins for 3 years in the SEAL teams, they were awesome. Okay, we're going to combine these fins with a pair of booties, all black, and then we're going to get some of these right tri-socks right here. I put the link right here. So it'll keep your feet from just peeling off. So the goal is like to keep your feet good. You ain't got socks on inside your booties. I'm telling you, man, it's going to be bad. Now listen, don't show the instructors that you got no socks on in your booties. Try to keep that hidden. If the top of the sock, it shouldn't come close to the booties. The booties are normally 6 inches. These are like 3.5-inch socks. You should be fine, but if not, just take the top over and fold it over so that there's no way they ever show. In PTRR out at Bud's, Ramp Up, Bow, whatever you want to call it, swim at 4,400 in the morning with fins on. Okay. Now, on the PDF, you'll see we don't have a lot of fin training. Remember what I told you. This is just to get you ready for the PDF. Fins come in as soon as you pass the PDF and blow it out of the water, you're going to start swimming with fins on. That's all covered in the masterclass. Running. Obviously, we know running is a huge part of Navy SEAL training. So let's get into it. Hey, listen up, folks, man. Everything's done with a rhyme and a reason. This program wasn't just slapped together. So understand this. I know a lot of guys have struggles and they look at the running and they're like, oh my God, look. It's like everything else. It's going to be hard. You just got to eat it a little bit at a time. You'll see incremental improvement. All right, shoes. Shoes are a huge factor in how well you run and injury management. So I'm going to tell you this. I know it's hard. We got to buy new shoes every 6 weeks. As the mileage starts to accumulate, a good pair of running shoes are normally only good for about 200 miles. Do the math. If you're running 45 miles a week, 40 miles a week, you're going to run out of those shoes in about 6 weeks. I know that's hard. I know a lot of people don't have the resources to buy new shoes every 6 weeks, but there's no other option because stress fractures will put you out of the game for 4 to 6 months. Okay, couple big things. Do not change brands or shoes in the middle of a running protocol. Do not do it. Don't ask me why, but I know it's bad. Bad things happen. Okay, so I just got these shoes last summer at the Nike outlet. They're Nike Windflow 10s. I bought 7 pair of them. And a lot of times at the Nike outlets, they'll have these deals where if you spend more than $200, they'll give you 30% off. It brought the price down to like $41 a shoe. I know I got 44 in here, but it was $41 a shoe. This is just an example of the shoes that I'm currently running in, and they work pretty good. We're going to try to separate our runs by 12 hours. That means if you run at 5 a.m., you can run again at 5 p.m. That is optimum. We're going to try to space them out 12 hours. Are you going to be okay on 10 hours? Yeah, you'll be okay on 10 hours. But what we don't want to do is we don't want to start impeding the next day's run. So everything is set up to get maximum recovery. So if you run at 7 a.m. this morning and then you run at 7 p.m. tonight and then you go do your 5-mile run at 12 midnight the following day, like you messed up your speed training for that next day. All right, let's get into it. Just understand this. I'm going to lay it out. I'm going to try to answer some of the biggest questions that we normally have. Okay. Monday, Wednesday, speed tree workout, AM. Speed tree will be below. We'll go over the speed tree. I'll cover it in depth when we get to the speed tree write-up. Okay, PM, 3-mile run. This is just a volume run. Talking pace, easy pace. It doesn't matter. We're just running for volume. Okay? PM, push-ups. Get a couple hundred push-ups in. Pull-ups, pyramid to 7. Listen, man, y'all going to hear me say this 1,000 times. No one gets kicked out of training for push-ups and sit-ups and pull-ups. So we're going to try. The goal is to shoot for 20 pull-ups. But here's the deal. You're going to contract with, let's say, 12 pull-ups. That's all you really need. You're never going to do more than 7 pull-ups in training. So you get the third phase, you're going to do 18. By that point, you're going to have done so many pull-ups, it doesn't matter. So we're not really focused on push-ups, pull-ups, and sit-ups in this workout. because at the end of the day, those are not going to get you the buds. The run and swim times are what's going to get you the buds. Tuesday, Thursday, 5-mile run, talking pace. This is a recovery volume run. That's all we're doing. We're just running 5 miles, talking pace, easy day. Tuesday and Thursday AM. Get up, get them done. And then the rest of the day, you got 2 swims and rest. Rest your legs. All right, Friday. Friday AM, we have the 400 repeats. All right, now I'm going to explain this because I get a lot of questions on this section. All right, here we go. Shout out to my dude Amir up at Purdue, 400-meter runner. We used to just have 12 of these in here. He's like, look, man, start them off at 3, gradually increase by 1 a week. Thank you, Amir. Shout out to the people that have added value to the PDF over the years. All right, week 1. So let's explain how this is going to happen. You're going to run 3 800s with a 400-meter sprint and a 400-meter jog. In the beginning, I'm going to tell you this. That 400-meter jog is going to be slightly above a walk. Okay, it's a recovery. I don't care what the time is on the 400-meter jog or walk. As you get in better shape, that jog will be will be faster and faster. It won't be a slow jog. It'll be a moderate jog. Okay, but in the beginning, here's the deal. Sprint is an all-out run. Most of you guys are not going to be able to do 400 all out. But as you get faster, it'll be at about a 5:30 pace, maybe a 5-minute pace. If you're flying, that's what we're trying to get to. We're not trying to get to 50-second 400 meters. I would love sub right at 1 minute 400 meters. Okay, I think my best 400 meter was like a 104, if I remember right. I'm not a great runner. Okay, you guys know I'm 5'7", 200 pounds. I ain't a great runner. So, all right, we're going to add 1 all the way up. Okay. Once you get to the PST, you only need 8 reps. We're going to get to 8 reps. We'll hold at 8 reps because we want to conserve some of our energy. But once you take the PST, start moving up because we go from having to run a 1.5 mile fast to having to run a 4 mile fast. All right, Friday AM workouts, Friday PM, easy 3 mile run. Once again, we're in push-ups and we're in pull-ups. Okay, easy day. Saturday morning, let's have a good conversation about Saturday morning runs. Okay, Saturday morning is a volume run for mileage. All right, let me say that again. It's a volume run for mileage. I don't care how fast you run it. Talking pace is great. As you get more used to the volume and the miles, it will become easier and easier and your times will decrease. We want to start at 1 mile more than you have, okay? So if the AM run before was 3 miles, then today we're going to run 4 miles. Next week we're going to run 5 miles. The week after that we're going to run 6 miles. So we're going to get all the way up until 12 miles. Okay? If your longest run the week before Saturday was 6 miles, then this run is 7 miles. Absolutely. Once you get to 12 miles a week, we're going to alternate Saturdays with 12 miles and 8 miles. We don't want to consistently run 12 miles every Saturday. We're going to bring it back down to 8s. We're going to rotate 12 and 8s. All right? Now, listen. After we're done running, we are going to have a caveman meal. We are going to eat like an absolute savage on Saturday and Sunday, and we're going to rest. You can get a massage. You can float around in the hot tub. Just let your body rest. Don't go for a 20-mile hike on Saturday because we're trying to have an amazing Monday. Okay? Carb load, pasta, meats, red meats. Get in the food. Get in your logbook. Record everything. Okay? Sunday. So listen, I would love for you to get 10 hours of sleep every night on this PDF. every night. Saturday, I'd like you to get a big nap and get 12 hours of sleep Saturday night. Go to bed early on Sunday and get another 12 hours. You guys are saying, God, you're sleeping a lot. Listen, when you sleep, your body is healing and it's going to make you faster. Sunday, obviously, 3 huge recovery meals is what it is. All right, speed tree workout. Now, listen, a lot of guys get confused on when you're supposed to hit your watch and when you're supposed to turn your watch off and how long you're supposed to measure the distance for. There's a 5-mile jog warm-up. That's a 5-mile warm-up. Try to run this in the same environment every time. I used to run straight out, and then after the 3-minute jog, I would turn around, and then I would come back and it'd work out pretty close to the same every time. I was running on flat level ground. Do not run this on hills. You can run this on a track if you want to, but I want flat level ground. The idea is to get as fast as possible. All right. There is no pacing yourself in this speed tree workout. It is a sprint. It is an all-out run. I've heard a lot of guys saying, oh, I'm trying to pace myself. Listen, we are trying to blow our chest out. That's what we're trying to do. So 5-minute jog followed by a 1-minute sprint, followed by a 1-minute jog. Now, as you get in better shape, these jogs are going to be faster. In the beginning, you're just going to try to finish. 1-minute jog followed by a 2-minute sprint, followed by a 2-minute jog, followed by a 3-minute sprint, followed by a 3-minute jog, followed by a 3-minute sprint, followed by a 2-minute jog, followed by a 2-minute sprint, followed by a 1-minute jog, and then the last sprint is a 1-minute sprint. You're going to stop your watch. After that, you're going to measure the distance. So the distance starts at the beginning of the sprint, and then it ends at the end of the 1-minute sprint. Okay. The distance tracker. I've seen guys start off as bad as 2.2 miles, 2.1 miles. Okay. The best, and I'm going to tell you this, 4.6 miles. Okay. Do running 4:15 miles. All right, I'm just telling you, I don't know how that's possible. Someone might come up here with some crazy math. I just know my guy was absolutely flying. All right, the goal is 3 miles. If you get 3 miles in this 21 minutes, you're flying. Okay, increasing distance. Listen, you should see this distance tick up slowly, 0.1, 0.2 miles a week. It's not going to be a drastic jump. It's not going to go from 2.1 to 3 miles in a week. Some guys have been really impatient. I'm running, I'm not getting faster. How long you been on the program? 2 weeks. Okay. There's a reason that we say it's a 7-week cycle, and you may have to hit a couple cycles. Okay. All right. Speed tree workout. Now, listen, we're going to talk about this right here because this is a huge running speed developmental thing. At the end of one of your runs for the day, I don't care if it's your tempo run, I don't care if it's your speed work run, you are going to do stride length training drills for 800 meters minimum. I'm going to tell you, I did 1,000 meters every day at the end of my 3-mile run, and I am convinced 100% that is why I was able to run so well in high school, and things slowed down over time for me because I had stopped implementing downhill stride length training. And so now I got it in here. The magic fact is, if you increase your stride length by 4 inches, you decrease your mile time by a minute. So think about that. If we work on stride length every day and we increase it by 4 inches over the course of a number of months, I dropped a minute off my mile time and I didn't actually do anything harder. So I got a bunch of stride length development in here on a playlist. You guys can check that out. My favorite is downhill running, stretching, and pulling, meaning a slight downhill grade, 3 to 6%. And then I'm going to try to make my feet go farther. The best thing I can tell you is cracks in the sidewalk for that. You'll notice, and then pretty soon you'll be stretching out, man. You'll be reaching and just covering immense distances. So stride length training. All right. Okay, here we go. Beginner's run plan. This is for guys that have never ran in their life. Never been an athlete. This is for all you guys that think you're just going to show up to SEAL training and crush it. All right? Swimmers, water polo players, guys that were not in a running sport. Okay? You want to go to SEAL training, you're going to have to learn how to run. Here we go. Beginner's run program, 0 miles a week. All right. Beginner's run program, 0 miles a week. This is 0. Just focus on running, okay? We're not trying to get faster. We're just trying to get our body used to the volume. We need our lower body's bones to densen up. We need the bones to get hard. It takes time. This could be, if you are one of those guys that was sedentary, it could be maybe a year event, a year to get ready to run, okay? Just focus on running. Once you get to 25 miles a week, you can add swimming. I know a bunch of people want to add swimming immediately. Too much volume on your body, man. Just too much. Okay? Add the rest of the program after a couple of months of swimming. We're going to add the program once we've ran at the top end of this for, let's just say, 3 months. Sunday is always a rest day. So I got a bunch of guys out there trying to do more. Okay? You don't need to do more. Look, this program is bulletproof. All right? It's bulletproof. It's been crushing it. You don't need to do more. Just do what's on the program. All right, shout out to Jeff Nichols. Okay, me and Jeff Nichols had the long Shin Splint deal. This is the major change that I was talking about. We're implementing rucking for a number of weeks before we even get started on running. Okay? All right, here we go. I'm not going to go through every one of these blocks, but we're going to go through some of them so you get the idea, and then we'll talk about the premise. Okay? So, we're going to start off Monday with 10 pounds in a backpack. I don't care what your backpack looks like. We're going to go out and we're going to walk 0.5 miles. That's it. We're not 0.5 miles. Then we're coming back Tuesday, nothing. Wednesday, 10 pounds, 5 miles, nothing. 10 pounds, 5 miles, 0.5 miles, 0.5 miles, nothing. Okay? Listen, the whole job is to make sure that you continue to train every day. If it's too hard in the beginning, you'll quit and you won't make it. So if anybody comes in here and says it's not enough, I know, but we're talking about people that have never done any physical activity. So just hear me out. This is where we're at. This is what we're doing. Okay? Boom. Second week. Still 10 pounds, okay? 0.5 miles, 0.5 mile walk, no ruck. 0.5 miles, 5 miles, 0.5, 0.5, okay? Week 2, we're adding 20 pounds. Still not that much. 1 mile, 1 mile walk, 1 mile ruck, 1 mile walk, 1 mile ruck, 1 mile ruck, okay? We're up to 6 miles in week 3. Should be good. All right. If at any point the beginner's run program becomes too hard, simply repeat the week before and do it for a couple weeks until your body gets used to it. Everybody's body's different. This is not a standard. This is a recommendation. If you get to week 7 and it's the hardest thing you've ever done, just go back to week 6 and do week 6 for a couple weeks and then come back to week 7. It'll be a lot easier. All right? As you can see, incrementally, we're just walking and rucking. Jeff Nichols is like, this is bulletproofing calves, for lower legs. It's helping your legs get more dense. It's doing everything we need to do so that when we start running, we can avoid the dreaded shin splints. All right. So we are all the way up to week 9 before we even start running. Okay? Week 9. And then we are going to slowly introduce running and walking, and we're still going to be rucking. Okay? So, week 9, let's talk about a little bit. We're going to run 1 mile. We're going to walk 1 mile. We're going to ruck 40 pounds for 4 miles. We're going to run 1 mile. We're going to walk 1 mile. We're going to ruck 40 pounds for 4 miles. Now, pace of the ruck. Just walk it out. I don't need you running with the ruck on. Okay? Run. 1 mile, walk 1 mile. We're going to run 2 miles. And then we're going to walk a mile. So there's a lot of walking post-run. What we're trying to do is build up your volume so that you can handle running. And we're going to make a transition from this rucking to running. Okay? Incrementally increasing, 24 miles a week. All right? Then week 4, we got 28 miles. We got a lot of running. We're going to be rucking 6 miles, running 3 miles, rucking 6, running 3, running 4. All right? Week 15 and 16, we're making a change. We're getting out of the ruck. And we're transitioning to running, so we brought the mileage back down. All right? So we're going to run 3, run 4. Run 3. We're going to ruck on Thursdays, so we're going to keep the 40-pound ruck in for 6 miles on Thursdays, help with our lower leg development, and then we're going to run 3 and run 5. Okay? As you can see, the mileage is going to continue to build until we get to roughly the 3, 5, 3, 6, 3, 9. Okay? Like I said, no different than in the above part. If at any point on here it gets to be unbearable running-wise, just go back to the week before and repeat that week for 2 or 3 weeks and then make a jump up. Okay? Right now, we got in here for 20 weeks. I'm going to tell you this. When I started running, it took me 9 months to be able to run 3 miles. Everybody's going to be on a different schedule. Okay, we're going to hold this 29-week pace right here for at least 3 months before we start the full PDF, and we'll get it. Beginner's Run Program. Super simple. Let's go. Hey, if you get shin splints, make sure, give me an email. We want to make sure that you ride the bike, and we'll go back on the rucking program to build those calves and the muscles in the front of your shins, build that stuff back up. If you're having shin pain, do not push through it because stress fractures come from shin splints. So if you got lower leg pain, there's a bunch of stuff in there, but if it persists for more than 2 or 3 days, send me an email, ride the bike. Let's make sure we avoid shin splints. Okay? Tapering for the PST. This is a very important part. Okay? So before you go take your PST, you want to perform at your maximum level. 3 days before the test, work out for 20 minutes. Light swim, light run. Do the math. 10 minutes of running, 10 minutes of swimming. 2 days before the test, do nothing. 1 day before the test, hard workout. Hard 2 minutes of swimming, hard 3 minutes of running. That's it. Day of the test, wake up early, go for a 500-yard jog. 3 hours before the test, hydrate, have a yogurt or something light. This whole time, you're going to be carbo loading. That means I'm going to be eating a lot of pasta. Okay? That's going to fuel my body. Make sure you get a lot of sleep the night before. Make sure you hydrate, and then go and kill it. Do not have a big breakfast. Do not have your body full of food. Moderate meal the night before, and then go kill it. All right, lifting. Okay, so SEAL training is not important to be in lifting condition. When we go over and do the Army PDF, that changes. But in SEALs, look, we don't want to lift. Okay, we don't want to lift if we don't have to. That's the bottom line. You got the lifting PDF. So lifting PDF is a Google spreadsheet that comes attached to the Army PDF. So if you don't have it and you feel like you need to lift, make sure you contact me. We'll go through your numbers. We'll see where you're at, and then we'll determine if you need to lift. We're going to lift Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday and Friday are hard lifts, full body. Heavy days is the last thing you do. I used to lift first thing in the morning, so I got up at 4 and ran my 3 miles. Then I lifted, but I was not lifting legs. Okay, we're going to be squatting on this lifting program. So I tell you, it needs to be the last thing you do at the end of the day. I know that's a pain in the butt. I hate lifting last, but you can't run on lifting legs and expect to get faster running. Wednesday's a light day, 30-minute lift. Now, I've had a lot of guys ask me, I lift 6 days a week. Okay, if you're lifting 6 days a week, you ain't going to make it. Just telling you right now, you cannot lift 6 days a week. More muscle equals less endurance. You ain't going to make it. Okay, so we're going to hit it with this full body workout to increase strength and not muscle mass. All right. Last but not least, problems. Okay? There is not a problem that you have that we do not have a solution for. We've been running this PDF since 2000. Okay? There's nothing on here that I don't intimately understand or know. So if you have a problem, email me or send me a text message. Okay? Let's get to the disclaimers. It's going to be hard. There's going to be days you don't want to get up. But if you can't accomplish the PDF, there's no chance you're going to be successful in training. Remind yourself when you don't want to get up, that just means you shouldn't be a Navy SEAL. This PDF has helped many people understand that they really don't want to be a Navy SEAL because this is the minimum level of fitness that you need to show up with. Okay? To the PST, mind you. All right. Every one of my guys has used this system to crush the test and SEAL training. So let me tell you something. I've had a number of guys throughout the years try to modify this to make it a little bit easier, and not one of them dudes has made it. I'm not guaranteeing you make it on this program. I'm just saying it greatly increases your chances of being successful when combined with the Navy SEAL Masterclass. It just does. Okay. Don't contact me saying it's not working if you're not doing everything on this paper. So I've had a bunch of guys try to only do the speed workouts and don't do any of the other running, and then they're saying I'm not getting faster. Okay? Not a good plan. All right, disclaimer. Okay, do not ship if you are not ready. Here are the numbers that you have to be able to hit to ship to have a chance at buds. 28-minute 4-mile timed run. Swimming, a 1640 1,000-meter fin CSS, combat side stroke, and a 35-minute 5-mile zone 2 talk and pace run. Okay, that's the standard. You guys are asking me, well, what happens if I'm running a 28:30? Then you got to keep training. All right? What happens if I'm swimming a 17-minute? I'm close. No, you're not close. You're going to be taking these tests well-rested, well-gassed, like primo conditions. When you get to SEAL training, you're going to be taking these tests at absolute worst conditions. So if you're not at these numbers, you don't have a chance, man. So just so you guys understand where these numbers are coming from and why the community is doing what it's doing, changing over to this new PST. In a 5-class study, I'll put the link in the video. You guys can go look at the numbers. Only 5 guys graduated in the SEAL training classes across 5 classes that ran their 4-mile time run slower than 28:20. Okay? So they're putting in some implementations, but I'm giving you a guideline and a standard. Do not leave if you are not swimming and running these times, okay? Don't do it. There is no chance in this game. If you're not prepared, you will get there. You will be chipping paint. Do not ship if you are not ready. The Navy is trying to get you to sign up to be a bosun's mate, a cook, some other job when you fail out of SEAL training. Do not feel the pressures of your recruiter. Trust me on this. If you're not ready and you tell them you're not ready, they're going to tell you you're never going to get a contract again. They're going to give you a new contract. Trust me on that one. I've never not had anybody not get a contract that was running and swimming fast enough, okay? And a 35-minute 5 mile. If you cannot run a 35-minute 5 mile talking pace, do not ship. You will not be successful. I'm not sure if you guys are aware, they are now making the class up time for first phase 28:20. I hope you enjoyed this review of the PDF. If you don't have this document, make sure you email me at jake.zweig@gmail.com. The RIA will send it right back to you. If you have questions, put them in the comments. I'll be in here. We're going to try to blow this out. All right, let's go over all this good stuff that we got up here. We got the Masterclass, everything you need for Buds and SQT. Make sure you jump into Patreon, join Patreon, support the mission, get you a merch shirt. Okay, big one right here. Get in Discord right here. We got questions and answers on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Central in Discord. And then, hey guys, listen, man, I'm just telling you, this Navy SEAL shit ain't that hard if you prepare. If you don't prepare, then prepare to see the guillotine. Not a good look. Let's go. Hey, man, we building champions for life. It starts with your preparation.